Hello everyone. I'm Neha Patil. Welcome you all in today's session. Today we'll see one more data structure which is very simple. That is nothing but the queue. In this video, we'll see introduction about the queue data structure and representation of a linear queue using the array and operations on that. So queue is nothing but what? It is a linear data structure in which we are going to add the elements from one end and from the other end we are going to delete the elements. And queue is going to follow the first in first out property. That's why the main principle of the queue is nothing but FIFO, that is first in first out. And common example of queue already we everyone know, that is nothing but people waiting in the line at the ticket window. This is the general common example of a queue. So this is the definition of a queue. Queue is a linear data structure in which a new element is inserted at one end and the one element is deleted from the other end. The end from which we are going to delete the element is known as the front end, and the end from which we are going to add the element is known as the rear end. So this is the sample queue I have shown here. So if you are able to see here, this is the front end from which we are going to delete the element, and this is the rear end from which we are going to add the elements into the queue. And queue has different types like the circular queue, DQ, priority queue. But in this video, we are not going to see the types of the queue, but we'll see the operations on the queue and the array representation of queue. So two basic operations we can implement on a queue, that are nothing but insert and the delete. So insertion always we are going to do from the rear end, and deletion always we are going to do from the front end of the queue. And always before inserting new element in the queue, we have to check the overflow condition. As we are going to represent the queue here using the array, so whenever the array is full, at that time your queue is going to become the full. So before insertion, every time check whether the queue is full or not. That means overflow condition. Similarly, before removing the element from the queue, we have to check the underflow condition. That means whether the queue is empty or not, that we have to check. So this is the empty queue, as we are going to see the memory representation of a queue with the help of the array here. So I have drawn here this array, which is of the size. I have taken here the max size. You can take max size anything, that is 10, 15, 20 as per your requirement. And here, as it is the array, so it is going to start from the 0 and the last element will be at the position max minus 1 here. This is the initially empty queue. That's why here whatever be the front and the rear ends are there, that we have set here the or initialized to the minus 1 here. So this is the when the queue will be the empty here. So at that time we have to check the condition. If the front and rear both are at the minus 1, that means the queue is the empty. And this queue we can implement either by using the array or with the help of the single linked list also. But in this video, we are going to see the array representation of a queue. So these are the different operations I have shown here on the queue with the help of the array. So if you are able to see here, initially whenever there is only one element we have inserted into the queue, like here 10 I have inserted. So your both ends, that is the front end and the rear end, both are at the 0th position here. Initially, when the queue is empty and whenever we want to insert the element into the queue, then both ends we have to increment, we have to point it to the 0th position, and so here 10 will be inserted into the queue. In the second case here, I have inserted few elements here. So if you are able to see here, as I have not done at the deletion here, so front is at the 0th position and the rear is at the 3rd position, that is nothing but actual 4th position here. Then after deletion of the first two elements, now we have deleted here the 10 and the 20 from this array. So our front end is now pointing to the second position, that is the second index here, which is nothing but the element 30 here. And the rear is as it is at the 40 here. And now whenever I have deleted the 30 here, then your front and rear both are pointing to the same position here, which is indicating like only one element is present into the queue here. Now in this last case here, if you are able to see here, I have inserted the elements after the 40 here, that is the 50 and the 60. So 60 is nothing but what, the last position of the array here or the queue here. So rare is at the last position here. And if you are able to see here, the first position is actually empty here. But here, as the rare is at the last position here, and after this, if I want to implement the insertion operation, then it is not possible for us because the rare is at the max position here. So this is actually the drawback of the linear queue here. Though the first some spaces are empty here, we are not able to utilize that spaces here as the rare is at the last position. So this is the actually the drawback of the linear queue. So now this is the code related with the insertion operation. So whenever we want to insert any item, then as I told you, first we have to check the queue overflow condition. So when the queue will become overflow, if your rare is at the last position, that is nothing but the, if rare is equal to n minus 1, that means we can say like the queue is full here. And then if initially the queue is empty, that means if the front is equal to minus 1, then we have to initialize it to the 0. And then here we have to accept the value from the user which we want to insert here, increment the rear end, and then in that position we have to insert the value, that is the queue of rare is equal to value here. So every time before the insertion, first you have to increment the rear end, and then to that rare position we can insert the atom into the queue here. So this is the insertion operation. Now this is the deletion operation. So as I told you, while applying the deletion operation, first we have to check the underflow condition. That means if the queue is empty, when the queue will be the empty here. Now the two conditions are here actually. If the front is equal to minus 1, in that case also your queue will be the empty. And whenever after deleting few elements from the queue, whenever the front is crossing the rear, then at that time also your queue will be the empty here. So both these conditions we have to check here. If any one condition is going to match here, that means the queue is empty. Otherwise, whatever the element present at the front end, that is the queue of front, is nothing but what we are taking out, or we are going to print the element present at the front end here, and then we are incrementing the front end. That is the front plus plus. So this sequence is very important. First, you have to take out the element present at this front end and then increment the front end so that this front index will point to the next element at the next time deletion here. So this is the deletion operation actually. So as I mentioned here, the main limitation of the linear queue is nothing but what? It creates a scenario where no new element can be added in the queue, even if the queue contains some empty spaces as shown in the above figure there. So this is actually one drawback of the linear queue is there. And now we'll see what are the applications of the queue. So there are the numerous applications of the queue in computer science, like real life applications like railway ticket reservation, banking system. These we can implement using the queue. One of the most useful application again is nothing but the simulation. And the another application of the queue is in operating system to implement the various functions like CPU scheduling in multi-programming environment, in device management. Everywhere we are going to use the concept of the queue here. So this is overall about the queue data structure. And here in this video, we have seen introduction of the queue, basic operations of the queue, and array representation of a queue that we have seen here. So thank you very much for watching this video.